Yellow duckies, and welcome to Amerzone, the Explorer's Legacy. My name's Viola. If you like what you see, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help the channel. So this is a demo from the Steam Next Fest, and it is also a exploration, I think, puzzle kind of style game that is set in Amerzone, a forgotten Latin American country. Um, and you're fulfilling the wishes of a late explorer. So let's hop on in and see what all there is to see. Alright, so we have Traveler. You wish to enjoy the ambience and story with moderate difficulty level for puzzles. You'll find more documents and guidance to progress along among the various destinations. I probably need this one. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to Traveler. So I wonder if this was based on a real explorer or something like that from those notes. This is absolutely gorgeous. Oh wow. Geese! Hello, geese. Hello, goose friends.
You're the journalist, aren't you? I gave him your letter the other day. The professor's probably read it. He received another letter this morning. I put it in his mailbox. It was a letter from the museum. Letters from the museum. They always mean trouble. Hey, maybe you could take it to him. He has trouble moving around, you know. He's an old man. You know what I mean. You want my advice? He should see a doctor. Well, that's what I think anyway. Oh, and have a care. It looks like something fell from your bag over there. Well, then have a nice day.
Alexander Belimbois. He awaits you at his lighthouse in Brittany. And despite his unsavory reputation, he is the only expert on the little-known Amerzone, and we absolutely have to fill those last pages in the feature that Camille left so empty. Belimbois seems to have enjoyed your communications. Get what you can from him face to face, and get back to Paris as soon as possible. The accounts department refuses to cover any hotel fees for this report. Okay. Skip movement by double clicking. Rookies? They're going a slightly different route. Hmm. What'd you guys spot?
My friend, this old fool is overjoyed that your editor has finally decided to send you to interview me in person. As pleasant as it has been, our recent correspondence will not allow me to discuss certain subjects as freely as I would like. The subject of your special issue, the Amazone. You must be aware that it hits very close to home for me. That mysterious land is both the source of my greatest joys and my deepest disgrace. As my old friends at the museum probably told you. But no matter what they say, I know what really happened over there in the 30s, when my companions and I ventured into the unknown wilds. My friends and I, we caused harm. Harm that I am determined to heal today. But I need your help. Not only to finally bring my version of what happened to light, but perhaps to do even more. Time is running out. So, safe travels, my friend. I am quite pleased to welcome you to my humble abode. Signed, Professor Alexandre Valenbois.
You can control some mechanic elements in your surroundings. When the hand icon is displayed, click and hold the left mouse button to move the mouse in the direction shown. Examining objects from all angles will help you discover useful information, and sometimes even specific actions. Hold the left mouse button to rotate an object, then use your mouse to move the cursor until it changes. The magnifying glass reveals useful information. The hand enables you to perform a specific action. We have thoroughly examined your plans for a new expedition to the Amerzone, and regret to inform you that we are unable to give a positive response to your grant request. First, the present economic situation does not permit us to financially to finance such a risky expedition. Second, my colleagues and I are of the opinion that unfortunately you still have not renounced that empirical fallacy which was once at the root of a lengthy dispute between yourself and the museum. This venerable institution, which I now have the honor of representing, still remembers the bitter disappointment and mockery within the scientific community that resulted from your first expedition in 1932, which we had been weak enough to sanction in the first place. Just as my honorable predecessor did back then, I will warn you against the dangers of such an undertaking, where adventurous fantasy prevails over strict scientific rigor. Journal has been updated. The different tabs contain all the items and documents you've collected, your objectives, progressive hints for solving them, and lots of other useful information. Remember to check it often. You can open it from the right-click radio menu or by using dedicated keyboard. Shortcut tab. Interesting old anchor. Elevator. If he has trouble getting around, that will make it easier. As you progress along your journey, you may find investigative materials, evidence that will help you unlock additional articles for your report. You don't have to conduct these investigations, but completing them will enable you to discover additional content and delve into the secondary elements of the story. Investigations are recorded in the dedicated tab on your journal. Open it via right click. Yeah, keep your eyes peeled and don't be afraid to go off the beaten path. Okay, we got a lot there. Ooh. I've been told you no longer want to teach your workshop next year after a disagreement with the parent of one of your pupils. For what it's worth, I sincerely think that you shouldn't take the comments of this individual, who's already notorious within our team, to heart. No one thinks you're a charlatan, you're a scientist, and the children love you. Year after year, I see how fascinated they are, and their teachers too, by your sessions on the Amerzonian goose. And so I hope I might change your mind by writing to you. To help persuade you, little Safia, who was also mesmerized by your last workshop, asked me to send you something. I've attached it to this letter, along with the usual sign-up form for external educators. I hope you'll send it back to me, filled as usual. It does feel a little bit on the awkward side, not being able to just walk around on my own. But that's part of the story, I guess.
You are the journalist, aren't you? Come. Come.
Sorry if you guys are hearing meows.
Amerzone. Too late for me. Too late. It's all over for me. I'm no longer in good health, my friend. It's a pity, but what can I do? In any case, Amerzone, all that. No one ever believed me. So, after all those years, the egg, the egg, the egg is still alive. Alive. Yes. I had planned to take it back over there to Amerzone. My expedition was ready and all planned down to the smallest detail. And now I have no strength left. You must go for me. You must go. Take the egg back. Take the egg of the white birds back to Amerzone. I beg you, please. You will find everything you need right here in the lighthouse. You must go to the basement. Please. You must help. For her.
Oh my god. You reveal all the possible interactions around you by holding down Alt key. Okay. Oh my gosh. And somewhere out there is the Temple of Plight, then a volcanic crater, and there, perhaps redemption? The Ovo Volahauj village. Is it still there? This angel, my guide in 1933, abandoned me back then, but strangely, I feel I can trust him enough to send him a diskette. David Mikowski, Reverend Brother, still a friend, good candidate for a diskette. The Amerzone Delta, where the waters of the river flow into the Atlantic Ocean, a natural border easily accessible, particularly after stopover on Shipwreck Isle. Okay. capital of Amerzone, Alvarazopolis, a place to be avoided. A fisherman we met on Shipwreck Island during the 1932 expedition. He was just a lad back then, reliable but uncommunicative when he was in a bad mood. Accepted the diskette, even hid it from Antonio's henchmen. Spruceland Trading Post, Delta Sea, Shipwreck Isle. Circled Island seems like you want to stop off there. Sketch figures, they look like animals. Journey that starts in France, crosses the Atlantic to an island, then goes to the Amerzone River. To a volcano. I convey to you the heartfelt greetings of President Alvarez, who is in ill health and unable to reply to your letter personally. Naturally, he has fond memories of the adventures you shared in the 30s upon his return to the country. However, as I'm sure you will understand, our country's laws must apply equally to all, and the bonds of friendship you once had with our supreme guide do not entitle you to special privileges. I therefore regret to inform you that I cannot process your application for a visa to enter. We do not wish to welcome any more scientific expeditions which could lend credence, in whatever form, to the existence of those white birds. This Indian mythology, as with all others of its kind, is keeping our indigenous fellow citizens in a state of mind that is incompatible with the country's triumphant march towards progress and modernity. Thank you for understanding. It was a great joy tinged with disbelief that I received your letter after more than 50 years of silence. I must admit that I had given up all hope that our paths would ever cross again. And to be quite truthful, I thought you were no longer with us, for we are too old now. I fear, and deep down inside the joys of meeting you again is mingled with the fear of seeing you undertake such a risky expedition at your age. My old friend Alexander. I believe that I share your feelings of guilt towards poor Amerzone. We made many mistakes that only our youth could explain. Today, in the twilight of our years, we want to right our wrongs, and thus attempt to obtain from our fellow human beings, or from ourselves, an earthly redemption that pales in comparison to divine justice. All this is very human, I know, but what a folly at your age to set off again through the Amerzonian forest and marshlands. You'll fail along the way and die out there. What's more, the Amerzone, blah blah, my brain is melting. You once knew no longer exists, my dear old fellow. Things have changed here, as in the rest of the world. You mentioned the white birds, but I have come to believe that they live on only in the heady fumes of intoxication that envelop the few denaturalized indigenous people who were spared by the inexorable march towards progress. You must think that I am very bitter, but if you only knew the sad state of this country, as if it had been hit by an implacable curse. Should you persist, however, in your determination to return to Amerzone and stop over at our mission in Puebla as you have planned, note that you will not find the companion in adventures of your youth, but a poor, toothless old man who will nonetheless be delighted to welcome you under his roof. Then, with two exhausted ghosts, we will go and sit on the riverbank to watch the sun set on our lives. I must say I'm a little surprised by your request, but I'm happy to keep hold of your backup diskette, as you call it. All the more reason for you to stop in and say hello if you insist on undertaking this ridiculous venture. What a surprise after all these years when I got your letter, you stubborn old mule, all the memories of our trip along the Amerzone River came flooding back. All that madness with your obsession with the white birds, but the country you knew is no more, Amerzone. Since your pal Alvarez took over, speaking of the old legend, is forbidden. I've lost a lot of friends, and not only to fermented drinks. Many were crushed under the boots of the military regime before they could even utter the word white birds. I did warn you, you should never have stolen the egg from the ovo volajos. You cursed yourself that day, and with you the whole of Amerzone. And you doomed me too, to watch the results of your folly every day. Friends dying one by one, and soon I too will follow them. Rum will get the better of me. I am dying. But I must forgive you, just as I believe you have forgiven me for abandoning you that day deep in the jungle. I will keep this backup diskette that you sent me, hide it where you two met, you and you know who. I will also leave some fuel for the infernal machine as requested. Just be warned that I will probably no longer be here to welcome you when you arrive. Okay, is that all the things that were on here? Yeah. Okay. Do you have Miller High School? Probably a retirement gift. Judging by the smell, you like to add a little kick to his coffee. Seems like she meant a great deal to him. Portrait of a young woman looks like the same one in the photo you was holding. 516. Scribble down some kind of apology. I'd be able to read it better if I had a suitable projector. Portrait of someone called Ikumeni. Okay. Oh. Wrong button. Sorry, guys.
Hello? Hello? Yes, it's a call from Professor Valenbois' lighthouse. Professor Valenbois? Professor Valenbois? Oh, I hope he's not having another stroke. I'm sending an ambulance to the lighthouse, Professor. Hold on.
My dear friend, I am an old man in the twilight of his years. I know now that I will never have the strength to set off again to the Amazone. My only remaining hope resides in convincing you to go in my stead. Make amends for the wrong I have done to that country over 50 years ago. It was in 1929, at the university where I was finishing my studies in natural sciences, that I first heard of the Amazone. I befriended a young law student from that country. His name was Antonio Alvarez, and he was later to become the despotic leader that we now know today. He suggested going with me as my guide and interpreter until we got to the last steps of civilization in his country. A second companion was to join me. The Reverend Father David Makowski, who was burning with desire to perform mission work among the inhabitants of those regions forgotten by the Creator. We set off, therefore, one morning in June 1932 on board the Hydra Float, a revolutionary invention of mine. Unfortunately, this first prototype had several imperfections. The mechanics of the craft failed us on the way near Shipwreck Island. A large number of sperm whales had settled there. I feared that we might have hit one of them. It was only by a miracle that we set foot on the shores of the Amazone. But already, my friend, I realize that I am only at the beginning of this tragic story. If you want to find out about what follows, it will be waiting for you in the basement. Your next destination, should you decide to replace me for this new journey.
We found the Professor's travel journal, the memoirs of his first expedition. It is an inexhaustible mine of information about the mysterious country. Some of it may prove useful. You can access it using keyword shortcut V. Labeled basement. Forgive me, my darling. So that's the three men, Professor and his companions. Probably try to find the other. I don't don't know what I'm supposed to do with that yet. I'll see if there are any other slides around. Specimen seems to have some sort of venom gland. Aptly named. Hooks up into a page about the Amerzone Hoko. The page shows a female on the left and a male on the right. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of reading. I cannot. Illustration of the hydrofluid machine professor appears to have done a lot of work on. Antonio A. Recording of the Amazonian dictator.
Amerzone is a powerful country, and the people of Amerzone are its symbol. I am the father of the Amazonian people, and as this nation among it, long live Amazone! Long live progress! Progress will liberate us, separate us from the romantic nonsense of the savages. Progress will burst open the door to the modern world so that we
definitely need to go down. Looks like it was once a form to be completed by external educators who gave classes at Torville Elementary. Okay. Today, as in the past, the solution was within view at almost 6 degrees. But must have helped him with some very tricky calculations. Don't know what to do with this yet. This leads out. Oh, okay. There's now up. Oh, and that's the end of the demo. Okay. I was getting really sucked in there. Either way, I am definitely putting this on my wish list. This is amazing. It's beautiful. It's well thought out. There's a lot of story behind it. So, thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell icon to keep up to date on all the videos. And remember to free the feral wildflower in you. Bye-bye!